How's everybody doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. We're going live.
In five, four,
Hang on a sec. Four, three, two. Hold on, let me make sure you two. Watch now. Okay. Let's go here. You channel. There we go. We are live. All right, very good. Well, welcome everybody today. Let me go ahead and share my screen so that you guys can see what's going on. Watch now. All right, let me share my screen real quick.
Miss Zuli is in the
Can you guys
house.
see my screen?
Yes.
Everybody see
Yes,
my screen? All
yes.
right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, guys, this
Right.
is our
Dated.
first. So first of all, here, guys, I'm gonna mute everybody real quick since we're gonna do this as a webinar. Let me figure how to do that. Hang on a second. Mute all. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right, so very good. Welcome to PPP, guys. What we're gonna do here today is actually our first webinar that we're doing it formally as a webinar. And today I want to cover with you guys a main topic is why people get stuck. Just a show of hands here in the chat, drop a one in the chat if you know someone who's always stuck or someone who's tired of being stuck. If you guys want to drop that in the chat, that would be awesome. And then we'll go ahead and participate on the chat there. Okay. So very good, very good. Thank you for all the participation. Okay. Um, First thing I would like to do is I would like to start with the 2026 video that is going to be our community video, guys. And I want to feedback from you guys at the end of this webinar. But for right now, take your notes down and go. And here we go. Okay, hold on. Let me share the sound. Here we go.
Right now, it's probably because you're tired of starting over. Tired of posting content that goes nowhere. Tired of trying offers that don't convert into income. Tired of doing it alone without any real support. Tired of watching others build momentum while you reset every month. That's why we optimize to monetize with PPP, not to add more noise, but to fix your foundation. What PPP is not. PPP is not a massive course library, random guessing, or theory, a place to consume information without action. What PPP actually is. PPP is a pathway for building clarity, consistency, and time plus financial freedom, leveraging a community, content, and simple daily execution. No launches, no paid ads required, no burnout. Just a pathway that works when you work it as it for tens of thousands of others. This model is as simple as point-click, copy-paste, drag-drop, with purpose. Content attracts people in to seek clarity. People subscribe to the PPP community. You can walk, where trust is built through clarity and consistency of daily implementation. You can run, with premium/inner circle levels create predictable income. You can fly, with elite/VIP levels create speed, access, and results and true personal mentorship. It's a 3-level system designed to grow with you. Let's start with standard $2MO /$20/NL. You can walk with PPP. This is where you start and you learn how the PPP pathway works, why your message isn't landing what the 7-second test is, and why it matters what clarity actually looks like passing the 3 clicks test. Earn a complimentary one-on-one mentorship session with annual subscription. This level is about understanding the vision and seeing the path clearly. Then you can run with premium/inner circle. When you're ready to build and stop guessing, this is where you go. Inside the inner circle, you build your message and offer step-by-step. Learn the 2-hour blueprint for daily execution. Create content that's clear and consistent. Set up systems that support momentum. Get all the done-for-you templates. Access all the resources for implementation daily. Get 2-1 on, one mentorship session per month. This is where you stop watching and start building. Finally, you can fly with Elite/VIP. This level is for people who want speed. Elite is about live implementation, direct feedback, and access optimization and scaling. Removing decision fatigue, learning how to duplicate what you build. Earn as much as daily mentorship one sessions with purpose. This is where transformation happens, because excuses don't survive here. Here's how you can start. With simply $2 a month or $20 a year, you build when you're ready. You scale when you commit. Either way, you're welcome here. Our final thought: PPP exists to help you stop starting over and finally build something that lasts. So if you're tired of guessing or watching your message not landing, join us on the link below and we'll see you on the inside.
All right, guys. So drop me a 10 in the chat if you like this video. Just drop a 10 in the chat. Cynthia, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Now, drop me a 5 in the chat if you'd like to learn how to create a video like this on the days your hair is not done. If you guys realize that was my AI clone. Is that amazing? How many of you here, just a show of hands, right? Just, you can wave your hand. You can truly practice our religion in this community besides being a Christian, okay? Point, click, copy, paste, drag, and drop. How many of you? Wave your hand. Wave your hand. Awesome. Awesome. So here's another question for you. How many of you here are still kind of fearing the camera? Not so comfortable recording. Guess what? When you do a video like this, the only thing you need is the picture you desire of yourself, preferably maybe 3 to 5 pictures, and a transcript. That's it. And that video gets generated literally in 20 minutes. Imagine you did 3 pieces of content, that's 60 minutes, correct? Does that not meet the 2-hour workday? Absolutely. And look, you didn't even have to change out of your pajamas. Pretty amazing, guys. So I just completed an AI workshop for the past 3 days, and that's one of the things I've learned to master. And we're going to be teaching you guys that as one of the ways to create your 3 pieces of content a day. Okay? So welcome to PPP, guys. So you see, even Kim gets transformation. So you see that? That means there's always room to learn, right? So it's pretty amazing, guys. Okay? So when you come to PPP, guys, first thing you want to do is you want to watch these testimonies. We have some incredible testimonies here on the About page, okay? And you want to really understand who is it that we serve, right? So if you look in the bio, it clearly tells you who we serve. Does that make sense? Now, on the other hand, you can see that the first call to action is start here, which will take you to the start here module. The second call to action is the premium, right? And the third call to action is in case you want to build your own community. Very, very simple, right? So when you come down here, guys, okay, take it back to the description. So when you come to the description, it clearly shows what is our offer. What is it that you're going to get in this community? What transformation are you going to get in this community? So this is very, very important, guys, that you actually understand this, because when you understand this, guys, it's very easy to share our community. Very simple, guys. You see, when I learned that you master knowing your product, knowing the surroundings of yourself, Everything else is downhill. I want you to understand. How many of you guys are aware that we have a workshop coming up in 6 days? Do you realize that the majority of the signups that are coming through right now are coming through on automation? Almost 100% automation. How many of where's my community builders here? How would you like to know that you can set your community on 100% automation? And you have quality people coming in. Like, I want you guys to drop a 5 in the chat and welcome Anacito. He's our newest member, okay? He's came to the VIP through the automation. And he's right here, right now, in our webinar. Isn't that awesome? Anacito, you want to unmute yourself? Maybe say a couple words?
Hello.
Go ahead, just introduce yourself to the community. That would be great. We always welcome our new people.
Hello, my name is Aniceto Puente, and I'm from Ohio, and I'm a dad of 7, and I'm here to learn what I can learn. We can make some money in here.
Awesome, awesome. And guys, you would think that Anacito is a pretty old guy with 7 children. Guys, he's in his early 40s. Sorry, I let the cat out of the bag, Anacito.
You're fine.
I had a chance to speak to Anacito. He's amazing. So, very good. Let me ask you this. What attracted you the most to our community? What did you see? Because when you came in, pretty much, I mean, you didn't hesitate. You came in right away.
I seen that there's a lot of people coming in, and you are helping a lot of people get to their goals and getting straight to the point and not messing around.
Awesome. I'm going to send you the link to the community because you're going to need to register in the community so you can access the modules. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Very good. Welcome to PPP. So as I was saying, guys, is understanding the community, understanding what transformation you're going to get, and where you are and how you're going to get to where you want to be. And once you know that you have a right fit, referring is a piece of cake, okay? So coming down to here, these are the 6 most important modules, okay? Can you guys see the modules? Yes? You can see the modules? Yep. Okay, good. I see there's a delay on the YouTube, but that's okay. So when you look at these 6 modules, this is your prime time real estate. This is like your waterfront. This is like your most expensive real estate. And this is why I break down these 6 modules. So you can understand the psychology, because this right here is what is known as your PPP pathway. And drop a 1 if you're familiar with the PPP pathway inside of the chat, right? So drop a 1 in the comments, okay? Very good. So let's talk about the start here button for a second, okay? I'm going to reduce this a little bit, okay? So we can fit these 2 things right here. All right. So when we talk about the start here button, the first thing a new member needs to know is how can they walk with PPP? So the first thing we want them to be familiar with is, why does PPP exist, right? The second thing is we want them to introduce themselves. Why do we want them to introduce themselves? Well, there's 2 reasons. Number 1, so others can get to know them. Why is it important for others to know them? Because when we know the new person's story, we can leverage that new person as they get a good experience with the community, and vice versa. When the new person get to know the people in the community, when they refer, they can leverage the credibility of that person based on their background. Does that make sense so far? Drop a 3 if you catch me on the chat, right? Drop a 3. Let me know that you understand what's going on. and we're going to keep moving forward. Okay? The next thing they need to know is we need. All right, so we're going to mute here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make sure they know the community standards, right? We want to make sure they understand the culture, and we want to make sure they understand the process. When we talk about the process, is make sure they understand that in this community, you can get paid just to engage, right? If you've gotten paid to engage in this community, drop a 5 in the comments. I know there's a few of you that gotten paid from engagement, right? Drop a 5 in the comment. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Marta. I know Cynthia is there as well, right? So the next thing we want them to know is the do's and don'ts, right? We want to keep this community safe. And then we want them to know how to navigate through the community. Thank you, Cynthia, right? Because it's important. Imagine if you don't know how to navigate, how are you going to get a good experience? Does that make sense? Right? So you got to know how to navigate and know where to find things, right? Know where to go, right? Not only that, a new person needs to know that their voice here in this community is important. We want to hear from you. We want to make sure you get your questions answered, regardless of how big PPP becomes, guys. For me, that's one of my biggest pits and peas, okay? Then we want them to understand our story. Why did we go digital marketing? We want them to understand how it was before digital marketing and how it is now. How did we go from 0 to 112K in the first year with no prior experience in digital marketing? The only technical thing that I knew in technology prior to digital marketing was Canva. Is Canva enough to do business? No, not the way you want to do efficiently. So what did I have to do? Not only did I have to learn the digital marketing industry, but I had to learn the technical part of it. Because I knew that there come to a day, in order to take full ownership of a business, you got to be able to teach the technology part of it to others. Does that make sense so far? Drop a 10 in the chat if you're still with me, okay? Last but not the least, okay, you need to understand how to get your freebies. Thank you, guys. Thank you for participation, okay? Because the freebies is very important. And I'm going to explain to you the psychology. But first and foremost, when they complete the Start Here module, you can literally do this in 52 minutes in one sitting. The psychology of this is, let's say Anacito comes here and Anacito says, I want to change my life. Is it fair to say that if Anacito want to change his life, he should give himself at least an hour of his time to take the time to learn and get familiar to see if this is the right fit? Raise your hand if you agree, right? Absolutely. But if the person says they're hurting and they're not willing to give an hour, then I'm not quite sure that they're ready to change. You guys agree? Right? So that 1 hour is crucial. What is it? It's a filter, guys. It's a filter. They give us an hour. Here's what we're going to give them for free, guys. Okay? When they come here, the first thing we're going to give them is to make them aware of the 3 skills they need to master in order to succeed in digital marketing. How many of you wish when you first started digital marketing, somebody told you what those 3 skills were? Right up front, from day one. Does that make sense? I wish somebody had told me. I had to pay lots of money to learn this. Does that make sense, guys? Now, the second thing we want them to have is a clear breakdown of the 2-hour workday. There's no reason why you should be texting somebody, what do I need to do today? If you text that question to someone, it's because you never watch or learn the videos that talks about the 2-hour blueprint. You never watched the 7-day launch to profit. All of that is described inside of that, guys. So what do? We break it down for them. And we give them a chance to customize their own blueprint here in this community, right? To make sure that when you get leads to go into your website, they actually come to you and not somebody else, okay? The next thing we're going to give them is a customized ebook from our community so they can brand it. And last but not the least, we're going to give them the 7 days branding challenge, which is very important. Because when you understand how important branding is, it will speed up your like, know, and trust with a faster conversion, guys. That's what our community is all about. What you're getting as a freebie right here is almost $1,000 worth, if not more, for free. And all we ask in return is 1 hour of your time. Is that fair, guys? Drop a 5 in the chat if that's fair. Awesome. Thank you, Zuli. So, thank you, Martha. Thank you, Anacito. Thank you, Jeff. Let's talk a little bit about the third step. The third step is understanding the tools that we use, okay? How many of you guys knew if your mindset was clear that it would be easier to do your business? That's why we have a personal development app. Guys, this is the best app that I've gotten the most out of my bang for my buck I've ever spent. The best $10 I've ever spent. In fact, I never really spent the $10 because I've had referred more than 2 people, which pays for my app. Where can you go and get something paid for by itself? Does that make sense, guys? You see? Very important to understand that. And then what if you had the tools to stop the scroll? Would that be awesome? Right? What about you had automation on steroids? Would that be awesome? What about if you could protect your content, right? Making sure you never lose your content and you always get your content the same way you put it in the cloud. And you would never have that message on your phone that said you out of memory. Boy, that's the worst message you can get on a phone, okay? What if you could edit with simplicity? And when I say simplicity, point, click, copy, paste, drag, and drop, right? It's really that simple, okay? Oh, I know the feeling, Zuli. What about if you could optimize it all? And they tell you exactly what to fix on your channels. Would that be awesome? We have the tools that do that. What about if you had the tools to promote it, right? Wouldn't that be awesome? Guys, ladies, all these tools right now are paying for itself for me. Out of pocket, I'm paying nothing. It is paid by the revenue I generate from this platform. So I don't have to worry about my stuff getting shut down. Does that make sense, guys? The goal is to teach you how to do the same thing. Some of you guys, some of you already getting your stuff paid for, right? Now, what if you could be everywhere without having to work so hard and repurpose your content? Wouldn't that be awesome? So you're still having presence everywhere, but you don't have to post everywhere. AI posts for you. Does that make sense? Right? Last but not the least, what if you had a digital marketing business in a box all ready for you? A lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. What if you could earn in Spanish and not having to speak Spanish. You know what's nice? I've had 4 Spanish customers and I don't speak Spanish. Some of you are wondering, what in the world? It's called automation, guys. Automation. It's pretty awesome. We have the ability. This is a digital product. It is instant delivery. It can be delivered anywhere around the world. You see? But when someone comes in here in the first 3 modules and get this kind of experience, I'm going to tell you this, they're not going anywhere. Lori, can you unmute yourself?
I can. I'm here.
Tell the folks here a little bit about your story, why you came to PPP, and how's your experience so far?
Well, I am Lori. I've been in Legacy since April of 2025. And I actually had been following Kim's story for quite a while. And when he gave me the opportunity to join his community, I hopped on because I watched as he did things that nobody else has done. My experience has been awesome. He taught me how to brand myself in Canva, and I'm getting between upper 100s to mid 200s in views, and I'm learning more and more to do what I need to do to brand myself and my community, and I am a community owner. And the things he's teaching me to teach in my community is just awesome. And I am so excited for the workshop that's coming up. I mean, I'm on pins and needles, 6 days to go. I've been advertising it in my community, and that I've got 85 in my community. So that gets PPP 101 out there even more. And I look forward to making my money through him, having watched him go from 0 to 6 figures over this amount of time that I've been in Legacy. It's just been phenomenal.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. So you guys can see, and Lori just recently became retired from her full-time job. So that's also amazing too. You know, she didn't mention that. I mean, she's very humble. So let me tell you guys, one of the things we want them to understand, okay, is that all the tools we use are affiliate income streams, right? That means you can earn income and make it pay for itself, because we want to fulfill the 3 milestones that we preach and practice in our community, which means number 1, you should be able to break even. Number 2, you should be able to make enough profit to pay a decent bill, like a phone bill or a car payment. And number 3, when you're in a position to make enough to pay a mortgage or a rent, let me tell you, how many of you drop a 5 in the chat? If you were to, when you were to achieve these 3 milestones, would you go anywhere? Right? Drop a 5 in the chat if you wouldn't go anywhere after achieving these 3 milestones. Does that make sense? This is called retention, guys. Retention, okay? The next thing we want them to know in the module is understanding exactly what I wish I knew when I started. I wouldn't want someone to go through the same thing I went through. In other words, spend over 30K to be able to learn this stuff on a fast pace. Because the fact is that most of us will not spend the 30K. How many of you guys agree? You agree, right? So instead, what did I do? I took the arrows, I took the bullets, and now I'm paying it forward to you guys. Imagine if you knew how to attract other people through magnetic marketing. Wouldn't that be awesome if you knew that from day one? Right? What if you could have the exact prompt, the exact everything, and all you had to do is copy and paste into your chat GPT, and it would spit everything out, and all you had to do is follow. And now we're going to teach you how to take all that information and create a video through a clone of you. Is that awesome? We take all the excuses away. What if you have everything in the kit that you need as a digital marketer? Would that be awesome?
Yeah.
And what about if you had an exact roadmap on how to hit 6 figures inside a PPP? Why do we know it's possible? Because I did it. And it's thanks to having a community and do it through the community. And we can show you how to do the exact same thing. Where you don't have to wait for the $900 sale or the $1,400 sale before you can actually earn income. If that sounds good to you, drop a 10 in the chat. Okay? If you were to want to change one thing in 2026, type in what is that one thing you would want to change in 2026. Uh-oh. Go ahead and type it in. That one thing that you would want to change in 2026. $. All right. I got news for you. If you help enough people get what they want, that will come automatically. Increase the quality of engagement. Okay. Miss Kathy, the answer to that is simplicity. Having a scroll stopping content. Oh, we can teach you how to do that. That's no problem. You already got the right tools. Okay. Consistency, Anasido. Okay, very good. Consistency comes into the premium community and the coaching VIP community, because this is where you get accountability, right? When you have accountability and you have the right tools, consistency is no problem. Okay. Personal commitment for Cynthia, that means that's a lot of dating with the coach. That's all it is, Cynthia. Just a lot of dating with the coach. That's all it is. Okay. Professional dating. Just let's make it very clear here. Okay. All right. So now let me tell you guys. These two right here, there's a whole psychology to its madness. Why do we have 3-day workshops? It's very important. This is where they get to know the community. This is when they get to experience what the community is all about. Because when they do the workshop, it's just the tip of the iceberg. They haven't seen behind what's going on until they actually come into the community. You see? And to start off the year, could we have anybody better than Tim Hess to start off the year with us? Isn't that amazing, guys? You know, most of you
Nobody
guys,
better. Nobody better.
that's right. And guess what, guys? If you know me long enough, there was only 2 people that I have on my bucket list that I said one day they're going to speak into our community. So last year, we had Michelle, and she finished the year off for us for 2025. And then this year is Tim, who starts off the year. I tell you, the timing couldn't be better. The timing was amazing, right? So at the end of the day, guys, we want them to understand what PPP is, why PPP, and how can PPP help them. Then we want to help them refine their message. And then we want to show them the framework and use the KISS method, which is keep it simple, right? I won't say the last word because there's several different versions, right? So guess what, guys? The only thing they're going to get in the general session, let's make it clear, okay? I'm a transparent like a window, guys, like a mirror. You're only going to get the 30,000 foot view in the general session. You're not going to get any transformation. Type in the chat, where does the transformation happen in our workshop? Type it in the chat. Most of you, all of you should know the answer. Come on. That's right, Cynthia VIP. You got it. You got it. You got it. Our workshop you get the transformation before the end of the workshop. That means these 3 days you spend with us, you will become a new person. That is something we can guarantee because of the accountability of this workshop. And even Tim makes it very clear, which I'm going to share with you guys that video too. Okay? Now, when you come to the VIP, this is where the rubber meets the road. Okay? When you come to VIP, guys, this is where you get to hear from Tim. You get to ask questions for Tim, Q&A, right? If you don't know Tim, guys, he doesn't speak much, but he's a very, very powerful individual. He does okay. But let me tell you this, very diversified in income, okay? But the mindset he has is amazing, okay? Everything that you see on the 30,000-foot view from the general session in the VIP, we're going to go in depth, like seriously in depth, okay? Not only that, you're going to get to implement everything we teach that day. Not tomorrow, not next week, that day. Because as you implement it, you're going to share it with the group. 1,000 transparency. Drop a 10 if you think that's awesome. How many workshops have you ever experienced where you experienced the transformation right there and then? And all you need, batteries in your mouse, a computer that is powered up, don't unplug it. It works better with battery, right? And a will to learn. But most important, what is the icing on the cake? A decision with a made-up mind that you will change. Does that make sense, guys? Right? Without you having that decision to say, I will change, none of this matters. None of this matters, guys. Okay? So at the end of the day, you can come in here, you can start with us, right? You can start with us, $2 a month or $20 a year. Type in the chat, what is the difference? If you pay $20 a year, what do you get for bonus? That's right. You get one-on-one session, coaching session with me by just paying for the year, $20. How many of you here can blow $20 somewhere? It's pretty easy, right? We do it all the time. But this is $20 that you invest in yourself. Let me tell you why that's important. Instead of you having a 30-day relationship with me with $2, now you have a 12-month relationship with me. Which one do you think we have a higher chance of having a great long-term relationship? That's right, Zuli. Invest in your learning first. That's right. Of course, a year. Have you ever seen someone rush a relationship for them to get married? No. No. Absolutely not. Okay? That's right, Cynthia. We don't do one night stand here. Okay? Now, let's say you're ready to run $80 a month. And this for the first 50 people, guys. When we hit 50, this goes up to $97. Then, let's say you want to move faster. You want to get results right away. You're tired of waiting to know what it feels like to earn income. Majority of our income earners in this community come from the VIP coaching. If you're in the VIP coaching, raise your hand. Somehow it's always the same people who show up too. Hey, Jeff, unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm unmuted.
Why is it it's always the same people who show up, the ones that pay the most?
Because they're the VIPs and they're
Tell us
paying.
a little bit about your story and your experience. Share with the community.
I first got introduced to Kim from Alignable. And then once we got introduced, okay, that's when he started his PPP 101. And then I got involved. Ever since then, him and I have been connected because we live in the same town. I live in Jacksonville, North Carolina. He lives in Jacksonville, Florida. Uh, yeah, we live in the same town, Kim. But anyway, anything else you want me to add?
Let's tell them a little bit about your background. What
Oh,
you do? Yeah.
for the last 40 years, 45 years, 44 years, I've been in insurance and financial planning business. So I've done a lot of insurance and financial plans for a lot of people all over the country. I'm also own a number of Airbnbs. Those are rental houses that people can get. If you don't know what an Airbnb is, if you go somewhere and you like the area, you can just rent it for a week or 2 or 3 days, however long you want to. So I own some of them, and they are rented out all the time. Also, I'm a financial consultant, and work with people with their finances.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you on the team. Hey, Cynthia, you had your hand up. You want to share a little bit about your experience, Cynthia?
I am a poster child for believing that PPP has a lot to offer. One of the things that helps is the fact that when I joined with Kim a year ago, I did the one sale for $900, and I thought it was smooth sailing.
That would literally speak in.
And here I got an opportunity to not only have one-on-one coaching and done for you things like that, it gives me more confidence after coming out of a year of allergy attacks to be able to go ahead and do a video today. So I'm happy.
Awesome. 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 And then you guys, Zuli, are you able to talk?
Yes. I'll keep my fingers crossed that my connection stays on. It's going in and out.
You're doing good. We can hear you good right now. Go ahead.
Great, great, wonderful. Okay, what was the question? I got lost my train of thought.
Just share from your heart. You know,
Perfect.
what does this community mean to you?
Well,
And
thank you.
and what kind of support you've received from this community?
Great. Well, for me, one of the things that I had been seeking was definitely community. As having experienced the world shut down, I'm a wheelchair user. Just a little bit of background. I'm a woman with a disability. I've lived with disability since a little girl, and a physical disability, I should say. And so one of the things that was really missing that I had not realized for myself was my letting out my creative energies, my outlet. I have been a designer. I've had numerous careers, but most of all, as an advocate on the rights of people with disabilities, also women and children, both on the domestic or the national and international scale. So what was missing, of course, was communities being out there. So being on the internet for number one, it's just people from all over the world. I can continue now to meet. Like I said, I was during COVID or whatever you want to call it. That was definitely something that I could not get out and meet people face to face. So coming back to the internet and being here definitely has brought me even closer, because yes, you can meet people all over the world, but if you don't have that closeness, that community, that people can really get to know you, who you really are in a sense, and be able to share from the heart, makes a huge difference. And the learning, and for me, what's most important is I need to know details, and details is what will make it here. It's so important to know. And I think having Kim and having the kind of patience and be able to ask the questions, that makes a huge difference. And then being able to, like I said, to use my creativity. I don't have to really follow the mold. I can break the mold if necessary. And be truly creative, but still get the message out where everybody understands. My market, which I had a tremendous difficulty really saying it aloud because I wanted to get away from it, was being a coach, a trainer, an advocate, again, for adults and families impacted by disability, particularly children. My children are my passion. I don't have biological children, but I've supported thousands of children all over the world. And so that was, again, another missing for me. Here, I'm able to fundraise, I'm able to continue with my nonprofit. I know I'm talking and talking and talking, so Kim is going to stop me, but that I can just go on because I know I can achieve all that I want to achieve right here. And following the training and the step by step and the start, because I'm the type of person that I can have something show me, but I want to immediately run, get from A to Z versus A, B, C. And so here, I'm learning that I must go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So in order to do it right and get the right um, things that I really need. And also, one of the things, Kim, one last thing that I need to say is that in working with my niche market, particularly people with disabilities, they need a space where it's calm, where they can go at their own pace, where they're not being forced, they don't need to feel competition if they don't want to. And that's one of the great things that we can coach them in their style and they meet their needs. So thanks, Kim. I know I just went on and on. Okay, bye.
Now you did great. You did great. Last but not the least, if you can unmute yourself, Breezy.
Okay, greetings. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely. Just share from your heart, buddy.
Well, thank you. I'm a guy who was having a pretty good life, you know. Things were going well, and while things were going well, then suddenly things started going downhill. I experienced a divorce, and that was a rough time. And so, but I continued on, and that's when I learned the life of being an online entrepreneur. So as I continued down my road, being an online entrepreneur just a little bit, I did have a various um, routine of jobs and where I had to show up in person. And I went through three major jobs where I was laid off, and laid off because the company closed or the company moved away, just various reasons like that. And they had jobs for us, but those jobs that they held for us were 200 and 300 miles away. And I just was not in position to move 300 miles away just for a job that they said they were holding for me in a brand new city. And matter of fact, one of them was in Los Angeles, and I live in Georgia, and there's no way I could move 3,000 miles based on them saying they held a job for me. But then next, I ended up not feeling well, and turned out that I was diagnosed with cancer. Okay, so see, that was a rocky road from being laid off and all that kind of stuff, divorce and cancer, and so that put a dark cloud over me. But since I had learned a little bit about online business, online marketing, I just ran into a situation where I met this gentleman named Kim Mulatto. And I kept seeing Kim in different places where I went online. He was always there providing information, support, knowledge, and so on and so forth. So I just made up my mind one day to reach out to him and say, "Hey, is there any way that we can uh, talk a little later on? Because there's some information that I think you have that I may need to, that I think I want to know about." And so that was the road right there. The sun started shining more after we had that conversation, and then he led me to PPP 101, and I began to kind of hang out, get involved, get my hands wet with PPP 101, and it wasn't long before I started seeing myself go through a tiny bit of transformation. And that tiny bit of transformation, it started making me feel better about myself and about my capabilities. So once I got that feeling, I said, you know what? all of this journey that I've been on, I haven't had anyone to reach out with helping me go through a transformation for the better, like Mr. Mulatto had. And so I said, okay, well, that's just like if you're on a ship, most big ships have an anchor. When they want to stay still, they take the anchor and throw it out there in the water, and it makes the ship stay in the same place. And so that's what I did. And I just, my knowledge began to improve, and I began learning about um, some income generating um, um, opportunities, and it just developed into more opportunities. So PPP 101 has done a lot for me and still is doing a lot for me. And I like it. Mr. Mulatto and the group have a lot to share. People coming from different backgrounds, some women, some men. And it's a very upbeat and friendly community, and there just hasn't been any kind of there's just no mess. It's just all very professional. And so that's how I started, and that's where I came from. I'm going through the transformation, and I look to gain even more knowledge. So I hope I didn't talk too long either. And
Oh no,
that's
no,
my
it's
story.
amazing. I'm sure you touched somebody here. I'm sure someone could relate to your story, and that's the power of storytelling, guys. But what I'm gonna do here is make sure the link is inside of the chat. If you're not part of our community yet, this is where you want to click and subscribe. And again, you can start with us, $2 a month, $20 a year. You get a coach with me. With $20 a year, you get one session with me, but then we have 1 year to build a relationship to get to know each other. So with that being said, I'm going to close this out by watching this video for the workshop. Some of you may or may not have seen it, but I'm going to tell you this video right here has gotten so much engagement, has gotten so much automation on steroids. This is why 90% of the people in this workshop have signed up because of this video. Uh-oh. All right, guys, this is just a small taste. I can't tell you how grateful I am right now to be able to spend quality time with Tim. This has been one of my biggest bucket list, guys. A lot of you who know me, when I first came to DGC, I wanted to have two people, and I mean two people that would literally speak in our community. One was Michelle, which she spoke in December, and the second one was Tim. Why? Because trying to get a hold of Tim, I could get a hold of Trump better than I could hold of Tim. And Tim is not an easy guy to get a hold of, right? But you know what? Once I got a hold of him, 3 times in 2 weeks, guys, at least an
Yep.
hour conversation.
At
Who would
least
have
an hour.
ever thought 13 months later, right, Tim?
Exactly. It's been a
So,
joy, dude.
Tim, I want you to give him the 2 minute J. Paul Getty. What you gonna get on January 22nd?
Oh my God. Yeah. Listen, you guys. First of all, I'm honored, man. And I'll give you a concept here is I have this is the only other community that I've ever spoke to other than DGC. So I am so fired up right now to even get this conversation. We're gonna say go birds because you know that's exactly where we got to start off. And then number two, one of the couple of things is I look at clarity. I love this about clarity. We got to be clear. We're in the beginning of the year 2026. We're very clear, but what do we need to be clear on, right? Our message. Who's our perfect customer? How do we get our message out to people? And there are three major points to this. And one thing you're going to know your perfect customer if you don't know who it is, real simple. The second thing you're going to know exactly how to speak to them and tell your story to make the most impact. And when you leave this meeting, this gathering, I call it, of community people that are just trying to make one day better than the next and build on that. And that's what this community does, which I have seen for the last hour today. I've seen this community and I am very fired up to be there because the steps that I'm giving you are the steps that when you're done this VIP session, when you're done it, you're going to be able to take these steps right out when you're done and use them. It's not going to be use it next month. I got to learn something. No, 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 no. When you're done this meeting, this community gathering, you're going to be able to take these 3 steps and use them immediately and see impact in your business. And that, at the end of the day, that's what we want to do. So that's what we're going to give. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go, and we're just going to knock it out of the park. That's all I can tell you. So don't miss this.
That's awesome, Tim. And this message now is going to be for our furious mentor, no other than Michelle O'Neill. As I promised you, we're going to attend 4 games in
Yes, we are.
2026. The
Yes,
2
we are.
games that Philly and Dallas meet, the game that Dallas and the Bucks meet, but we'll also invite you to the 4th game, Michelle, which is the game that the Bucks and the Philly meets. It will be kind of a guest of honor to invite you. Wherever
Exactly.
that game will take place, we're going to have a great 2026. With that being said, see you guys on the 22nd.
God bless, guys. We'll see you.
All right. We're going to go ahead and unmute for everybody. Uh-oh. Oops. Hold on.
What happened?
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Awesome. So, guys, I give you guys a chance to unmute yourself and go ahead and say goodbye, and then we'll see you guys next week. Okay?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.